Hey everybody, welcome to the TV Storm. Today we're talking about one of Popeye's classic cartoons. We're talking about Aladdin's Wonderful Lamp from 1939. I believe was when this short came out. Unfortunately, this was the last of Popeye's Arabian Night trilogy. This short was preceded by Popeye Meets Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, and of course, when we talk about Thieves, Aladdin's Wonderful Lamp. Oh, Popeye Meets Sinbad. But unfortunately, this was eclipsed by a little thing from Walt Disney Studios called Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. The first fully animated feature film. Of course, eventually Popeye would get his big screen debut in live action, portrayed by the legendary actor Robin Williams. That's a story for another day. The interesting thing with this story is, in this story, it opens uniquely as we feature open at Surprise Studios. And we start an interesting twist in this story as we have to open with Olive Oyl writing a script. Now this is unique as this is the first time we get a look inside the character's life. This is kind of, I don't know if this was before or after the Daffy Duck cartoon where we see Daffy Duck pitching a script where he's being a more heroic character. Maybe an animation scholar in the audience could let me know which of these two shorts came first. But we picture Olive coming up with an idea for this Aladdin storyline, where she's, of course, the princess, and Popeye being, of course, the humble, Aladdin. This is the only one of the three cartoons in this Arabian Nights trilogy where Pluto is not the villain. Pluto plays the villain in the Sinbad story and the Alibaba story. But honestly, Popeye is, Pluto is absent from the story. He's not in it at all. Really, the only regular characters in this story are Popeye and Olive Oyl. Everyone else is new characters, which I think is kind of a nice twist to this. The genie would return in the short Popeye's Premiere, which was a repackaging, like the later re-release of Big Bad Sinbad. Which is kind of interesting. I'll tell you why after I get to this. So we use the script thing as kind of a bookend for this story. As we see Popeye going through the story, and there's a transition theme explaining the thing about our Jafar analog tricking Aladdin to go getting the lamp for the princess and all this stuff. And then the genie was, I think, pretty much a goofball, like with Robin Williams' genie. And then the bad guy gets hands the genie and kidnaps the princess, and Popeye uses the genie to become prince and does all this good stuff for the people and proposes to the princess, and everybody's happy. And then the bad guy gets hands stuff, takes the princess away, and everyone blames him and finds out that he's not really a prince. And of course, he uses the spinach to escape the crowd. I don't know why they tied him to a turtle. I never understood that part. I think that's just to make it more torturous for him. Or that's all they had. Anyways, so he fights the bad guy, gets the genie back. They never want to do the bad stuff anyways, but he's kind of forced to. They save the day. Then at the end of this thing, we go back to the real world. We find out that the Surprise Studio has fired Olive Oyl, so she doesn't get to make the movie. Well, that's the funny thing when they repackage this as Popeye's premiere, we get sort of a what if for that one, where it's the premiere of the big movie. So this is, I guess, an alternate dimension storyline in that one, where Olive Oyl did get to make the movie, and essentially it's a repackaging, and Popeye gets to interact with the movie, and we get to see the genie again. So yeah, so Popeye's premiere actually acts sort of a what if to that story. If you think about it, it's kind of a Popeye's version, like Big Bad Sinbad. Which that's what I think of it. Even though Big Bad Sinbad and Popeye's premiere are repackagings, I see them more as a what ifs of those stories. Just something interesting next time you watch those two. A different way of looking at them. Anyways, on my rating scale of from 1 to 5 spinach cans, I give this one a 5 out of 5. This is one that unfortunately didn't get to do it its time because of the more important movie of Snow White and 7 Dwarfs. And the funny thing is later on that Disney would go on to make its own version of Aladdin that probably would overshadow Popeye's version. But still, I think it's worth checking out. And you can watch all 3 of the Arabian Nights Popeye cartoons right here on YouTube, and I would recommend checking it out. So that's my review of Popeye's version of Aladdin is Wonderful Land. I recommend checking out. Until next time, this storm is over. And we'll see you next time right here on Bucky 749.